Alrighty, welcome to Supernatural Signals, My Haunted Journal edition. Um, if you don't know, in a nutshell, this is just where I talk about what's going on with the channel, my week, just my thoughts, usually 9 times out of 10 toward the spiritual and supernatural ideas. So, whatever I'm experiencing or whatever I'm thinking about or reflecting on. Um, just stuff that has to do with supernatural, but then I also tie in a little bit of stuff that's just going on with me and my thoughts for the week. I think my last video was a haunted journal, and usually I like to have different videos in between um, because, just to keep a good flow. But there's just been a lot going on in my everyday life as well as supernatural. So it's been kind of it's been, let's put it that way. I think people can understand that type of week or whatever. So it's just been things going on that I might catch you up on later, but for now I'm just going to catch up on um, regular things that are going on. Like I said, I am still going to be working on a paranormal parable. I think I even recorded it. It's just I have to edit it and everything, and I just don't have the brain capacity right now. So I'm gonna start working on that probably towards the end of this week, and then get back into more of my investigative videos. But with all that said, I want to touch briefly of what has been happening with supernatural things, and then I'll just talk briefly of kind of where, I don't know, it has to do with supernatural stuff, but also just talking about, you know, I don't know. You'll see when I get there. Like I said, I spitball these videos, so excuse me for that. But okay, so as far as anything paranormal happening, I've been having very vivid dreams, and I don't want to get into the details of them, but they've been very vivid. Since I started my supernatural journey, which was a few years back, um, I've been kind of having, I used to not really dream at all. And then since all this stuff started, I've been having, on and off vivid dreams. And sometimes they relate to what's going on. And sometimes I think it's just the universe trying to get me to wake up. But yeah, so I had some off dreams, but again, I don't want to get into the details. And they were so murky that it's hard. There were a few that stuck with me, but they're just not something I really want to talk to on here right now. Just because the person involved I don't really like. Let's put it that way. So for justified reasons. My boyfriend is laughing because he agrees. But anyway, it's just, stuff like that. But the things that are coming from it is I've been getting more. I talked about in a video, and it'll be linked. I'll put all the videos to my haunted journals, and it's the one about the cats. I've been seeing like images above me a few times, and this time when I woke up, I don't want to say I was in sleep paralysis, but I woke up after kind of a bad dream. And then there was just this like hovering object that I had no idea what it was, but it reminded me of the cat situation I had, which again will be linked in down below. Um thing, but I couldn't tell what it was. It wasn't a clear object. It was just kind of like this weird like shape. I don't know. It's kind of like boxy and square is the best way I can describe it. Um so that happened, and then I also mentioned in another haunted journal is that I keep feeling something in my bed, and no, it's not like a bug. It's not like it feels like something is walking in my bed, and me and my boyfriend keep thinking it's Kitty that's waking up to go use the bathroom or get something to eat or something, and it's not. She's like literally passed out. She's been sleeping above her head lately. Um and it's not. So it's not her because again, she'll be passed out, or then like, 30 minutes later we'll her actually get up. So I still don't know what that is. It stopped for a little bit and then it started again. So I don't know what that is. But yeah. Um, so that's what's been going on paranormal or supernatural. And then hang on one second. So what else I wanted to discuss was Some stuff that was going on with me, I guess, mixing with what's going on in my day-to-day life as well as supernatural in a way, because I feel like the stuff you learn in your day-to-day life, you can apply it to the supernatural realm. And for me, I feel like in regards to the supernatural and just what I've learned, I feel like I'm good at certain parts of the supernatural, which I think is another reason I got a crash course in it, I guess is the right word to say. I've said it so many times, but there's something I think I feel like I'm good in the supernatural, but I also feel like sometimes you can be too good at things. And that's not to say like it's hard to kind of explain without details. I guess this is like the non-detailed episode of Haunted Journal, but it's one of those things where it's like you can explain something to someone, you can teach something to someone, you can show someone by demonstrating it to people, and explain the supernatural. But if they don't believe you either in the supernatural at all, or they believe only certain parts, or they don't believe certain things are going to happen, and so they think it doesn't apply to you, there's only so much that you can do until it starts harming you in a way, right? And I think like when people talk about boundaries, it's so easy to be like, you know, the boundaries apply unless I'm not helping the greater thing of the universe, right? Like I have to keep going because we have to do the universe thing. So I have to show people all these things and I have to teach people all these things and all this stuff. But eventually, if your teachings and you're trying to explore, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, your knowledge isn't hitting people the right way, then it's kind of like one of those things where you just keep banging your head against the wall, right? And say, okay, well, then you just have to trust in the universe that they'll show them and teach them, right? And that's not to say the people that you're trying to show and teach are bad people or anything like that. Everyone's on their own journey. But if you keep trying to use your own energy to express these things and stop thinking about yourself, it doesn't do anything good. And then it also stalls your journey too, right? That's the one thing I learned about looking too much in the past and reflecting too much. It's kind of like you become a ghost, right? It's you kind of become a ghost in that sense where it's like you're just trapped in memories and torment you, but you're trying to explain it to people and all these things, but they're not getting it. And so you're just continuously trapped in these bad memories. And I think that's when people say move on, right? It's like, okay, we talked about it. We know it. We feel it. Like, or if they don't, then that's up to them, right? You expressed yourself and then it's time to move on. But I think when you go through certain things, it's way easier said than done. It's almost like sobriety, right? It's like getting through trauma. From me, it's almost like sobriety. It's like I'll one day catch myself getting really caught up in everything again, be like, I have to do this, I have to show this person, I have to explain this, I have to, because they're doing it wrong. And then but then it's like my boyfriend will be like, Carol, like, calm down, it's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Because I get caught up in going backwards, right? Instead of going forwards. And just because people, or maybe not going backwards, but maybe they're not moving as far as fast as you, that's okay. That's fine because everyone has their own journey, or maybe they're going a different direction in their journey and it's still positive. It's just not your journey. You don't, I have a problem of trying to explain things. And I feel like if I don't see people apply it, I feel like I'm not doing my job. And then again, like I said, it's like getting over those traumas. It's like going back to it. Like I said, it's almost like sobriety. It's like every day it's like something will trigger me and then I'll go loop de loop, and not think very well. And then it's like, okay, today was a bad day, but tomorrow I won't let that happen, right? And it's just every day it gets easier. But I think I kind of had that realization today where it's like doing your job is good until it holds you in the past, right? And it's not helping anyone else, right? Because you shared all what you knew. And this is just kind of in my group of circle, I guess. Maybe that's why maybe it's not explaining to a lot of people, but I'm definitely someone that kind of keeps going and going and going until I crash out and I need to, and I am. I'm not need to. I am being able to be like, okay, let's not crash out. Let's just put our hands down and watch some Netflix. You know what I mean? And move on, because like I said, changing your life and the amount of information I've figured out in the last whatever how many years it's been, how many months it's been, whatever, it's not normal, and that's okay. Like, no one's telling you it's not normal, but at the same time, you can't keep saying it's not normal, it's not normal. You just have to find the correct coping skills and knowing when to say, okay, this is the new reality, and you express what you know to the people, and if the people get that knowledge and actually apply it and don't just listen and read it, then that's up to them. It's like a professor can scream and rant and tell you what to do, but if you don't draw a circle that they ask you to, eventually they're going to have to move on, right? So anyway, that's on my thought process today, but I'm going to keep this short for me anyway. But I promise I'll have a paranormal parable. I do have 10 subscribers, so I'm very excited. Thank you for joining me. I feel like this will be a small but mighty channel. So sometimes I don't express myself. So if you have any questions and you're trying to think, I know I sound vague, but it's also kind of just to protect me. And I don't know. Like I said, there's so much supernatural things I see online, which I think is great and makes me feel more comfortable expressing myself. I just feel like I've been guarded. And again, that's another reason why I'm making this channel, is to kind of unguard myself. So, um, in a way that I can handle. All right. So, anyway, I hope everyone has a good week, and I hope it's cooling down wherever you are, because where I'm at is way too hot. So, I think tomorrow's supposed to cool down. So that's good. Anyway, thank you for watching, and subscribe and hit the notification bell and leave a comment. And I just forgot my own catchphrase. Okay, stay curious and stay tuned in the supernatural. Thanks for watching.